Okay, y'all, let me hurry up and get this video done because I have a lot of labor to do in a little bit. And it's kind of funny. I'm doing a Capricorn rising video. Capricorn is all about that hard work, that Saturn energy. And I'm about to go do some yard work and help my dad build a fence, y'all. Totally different than what I'm doing right now. But if you are a Capricorn rising, or if you are watching for a Capricorn rising, then this video is for you. Now, remember, your rising sign essentially is your first impression to the world. How do people view you when they first get to meet you, before they get to know you and your emotions, your soul? How are you presenting yourself? What do people look at and think about you when they first meet you? So remember, Capricorn is about that earth energy. Earth signs are all about stability, being practical. They look for a lot of material things because, again, they need stability in their lives. So, earth signs are not gold diggers, y'all. Earth signs just need material comfort and security. Now, when it comes to Capricorn energy, though, because it is Saturn ruled, it is very much about hard work. A lot of times when people have Capricorn placements in general, their life it's just a lot of obstacles because Saturn is here to teach you a lot of lessons. So you can tend to, again, face a lot more hurdles, but that slow pace that you're going at, of course, pays off in the end because we're not here just struggling and going through things just for nothing. So again, your rising sign, earth sign, that Saturn energy, you can be somebody who comes across as very responsible, very disciplined, very ambitious. Now, remember, all Capricorn risings are not the same because one, you have to factor in what is the degree of the rising sign. That makes a difference. And also, are there planets sitting in that first house because your rising sign essentially is your first house again. But the overall, this is the overall general energy of this sign. So again, that serious energy, that very mature energy, or your demeanor can come across very mature, very traditional. I have seen people who have Capricorn Cancer placements, they're all about tradition, especially when it comes to things like family, work, how you go about your daily life. They tend to be, again, more traditional or live in that role. Now, because Saturn is in your first house, well, essentially being a Capricorn rising is like having Saturn in the first house of self, your physical energy, how you feel about yourself, your makeup. You people can tend to be those who suffer from things like low self-esteem. Again, Saturn is bringing that serious demeanor to you. Sometimes Capricorn energy is very pessimistic. And so the way that you view yourself could, again, be low self-esteem, which is why a lot of times Capricorn risings can seek like rank in life, like wanting to be the boss, wanting to be the leader to kind of make up for how they feel about themselves. Or again, it's not like a cope, but it's more like, if I have this status, maybe that'll help bring up my self-esteem because I have the ability to be on the top. And so myself, again, that self-esteem can rise again whenever you seek some type of higher rank. Now, as far as your second house, the second house of your wealth, the second house of your family, things that you value, that is ruled by, of course, Aquarius. So you could come from a family of intellects, family of, like, let's say, scientists, executives, people who have some kind of knowledge to give to the world that can also be seen through their, very eloquent speech you could have, again, because of that Aquarius air sign ruling the second house of your speech. I do know an astrologer that I follow quite often who is a Capricorn rising. So the way that he speaks, like I said, is very articulate, and which is probably why, again, he can be really good at delivering information. Now, the second house is also the house of your wealth. And because Saturn rules over your second house as well, you could be very cheap with your money, or you could be somebody, again, just very like practical with how you spend. I have Saturn in the second house natally, so it's kind of like the same thing where it's like, do I really need to spend my money on this? Is this really necessary? Is this a serious thing that I need to be wasting my money on, my hard-earned money? Now, also, it could be because Capricorn, like I said, is all about the material wealth. They could be people too who, let's say, they drive a Toyota, but they got $100,000 in the bank too. Again, the practicality. Is this necessary? I just need things to get me from point A to point B, and you don't need all the extra jazz around it too. Now, third house for your third house is the house of siblings, the house of communication. It's different from your speech communication. The third house, it's also the house of short distance traveling. Because Pisces is ruling over that, you could have a very indifferent relationship with your siblings. Meaning, like, because Pisces is a mutable sign and mutable signs are just like whatever, they adapt to whatever, you could have a very indifferent feeling about how you are as far as a relationship. So if it goes good, it goes good. If it doesn't go good, you're just like, whatever. If your siblings don't like you, if your relatives don't like you, you're just like, whatever. So that is kind of something that I've seen with these people because again, Pisces is they're out of this world right now. So that Pisces energy over that third house of siblings, traveling, communication, you're just like, or you could have some type of even a spiritual relationship with them as well too. Now, your fourth house, the fourth house of home, the fourth house of mother, the fourth house of family, ancestry. Aries rules over your fourth house. So again, that Mars type of energy, very could have like a very soldier mentality whenever it comes to your home. Even in your home, you could have some weapons in your home. You could have some kind of things to protect your home again, because Aries energy is that fighter, that competitiveness. Or you could have that kind of relationship growing up, maybe a chaotic energy in the home, either now or whenever you were growing up. So that is seen through, again, that Aries fourth house energy. Now, Aries, Mars is not always like negative fighting. Again, it could just be a more highly aggressive or even a competitive type of energy too. Now, your fifth house is the fifth house of children, the fifth house of your education. The fifth house is also the house of like romance, casual romance. Creativity is also seen through the fifth house. So having Taurus over that fifth house or a Venus over that fifth house, you could be somebody who's really good with like behind the scenes things or have a love for being behind the scenes. Again, because the fifth house is the house of like cinema, theater. And so Venus, again, that love or things that you love, things that you value, you could be somebody who's really good at being, again, behind the scenes or having a love for cinema. You could also be somebody who's really good at having like a speculative business or the way that you present your self, or going into things that have beauty in it, the Taurus like energy, the Venusian type of energy, or the way that you present things. You like to present things because it's theater. You like to present things with some type of beauty or artistic aspect behind it. Now, your sixth house, the sixth house is the house of, oh my gosh, sixth house, because I have sixth house placements and it's kind of been prevalent in my life. The sixth house is the house of your health, your day-to-day routines, not hidden enemies, but visible enemies, any kind of obstacles, oppositions. Legal things could happen through the sixth house. So you have Gemini ruling over that sixth house. So that communication energy over the sixth house, you could be somebody who's really good at communicating your way out of situations, or let's say turning enemies into friends because of the way that you talk to them. You could do really well with them. It's a mutable energy. It can be one thing at one time and then one thing another way too. A lot of Ooh, I got something on my lips. A lot of lawyers and judges are also seen through this placement. Being able to talk your way out of any kind of legal situation, that is a gift. So if that is something that you have experienced, let me know down in the comments. Oh, sorry, y'all, I got freaking lip gloss or whatever on me and it smoothed it out all the way. Anyways, your seventh house, the most important house for people, the marriage house, the legal bindings between two people, the more serious relationship house. It's always going to be the opposite or the sister sign of your rising sign. So, of course, for you guys, it's Cancer. Now, Cancer energy is very motherly type of energy. So, your partnership can come more with emotional ties and emotional connection. Your partner can even mother you. That is also seen through there because, like I said, that Aries fourth house being a more, let's say, chaotic energy growing up. Aries is a masculine sign, it's a logical sign. So, maybe you didn't get nurtured emotionally when you were growing up. So now your partner kind of fills in that void, fills in that gap. They could be more motherly towards you, or again, you have more of an emotional connection than, seeing, gaining partnership through like, like a material way. It's more of an emotional connection. Your eighth house is ruled by Leo. Now, of course, the eighth house is the house of Scorpio. So a lot of times you can see a lot of fluctuations within like your emotions through the eighth house. And also because the sun is ruling over that eighth house, there could be fluctuations with your ego and self-esteem. And I kind of mentioned that with it being your first house of self, that Saturn, that low self-esteem. So again, you could have fluctuations in I don't feel really good about myself, and then I really do. Like, say you gain a job, you gain some type of status, some kind of name to yourself at your job, your work, whatever it is that you do. And again, that ego gets boosted, but then it goes back down, whatever situation happens. So it's the house of sudden events as well. So suddenly you can be like, I'm on top of the world. And then suddenly you're like, maybe not so much. So just to understand where that comes from. Your ninth house is ruled by Virgo. So again, the ninth house is the house of Sagittarius, which is, foreign culture, foreign travel, higher education, philosophy, your morals, law is seen through the ninth house. Your father is seen through the ninth house. And I say that through like Vedic astrology. I'm kind of intertwining the two, so, but it all resonates. It's all kind of the same thing. So, yeah, so Virgo ruling over that ninth house is a more calculative type of energy. It could be like, why do I believe in this thing? They are very calculative about why they have the morals that they do, the values that they do. Again, that's seen through the ninth house. So again, that earth energy, Virgo energy is very critical, very perfectionistic. It's very like, why do I need to do this? Why do I need to learn about this? Now, the difference between Gemini, that Mercury Gemini energy and then a Mercury Virgo type of energy, Gemini wants to just learn everything just because it's curious. And Virgo is like, why are we learning this? Why do I need to read this? Like, how am I going to apply this to, my life? And so that's the same thing that is seen through, again, your ninth house of your belief systems, of your values. The 10th house for you is ruled by Libra. Of course, the 10th house is the house of your career, your reputation, your public image to the world. So again, having that Libra-like energy too. You could work in areas that have to do with Libra, let's say law, let's say any kind of fairness, justice. It's also things like beauty, things like art. Now, this is not to say that this is your job, because your midheaven, I say, really applies more to your job, and your midheaven can sometimes not be the 10th house, just to kind of make that clear. But again, 10th house energy, the way that you present yourself to the public could be in a Venusian type of way, could be, like I said, Libra-like. Libra energy can be an array of things. Again, it could be art, beauty, it could be fairness, it could be justice, it could be people pleasing, it could be charming, it could be flirty. All those kind of things are seen through that Libra 10th house energy. Your 11th house is Scorpio. So Scorpio, the house of friendships, 11th house is the house of friendships, the house of social groups, the house of networking, your goals, your aspirations, all of that is seen through the 11th house. And having Scorpio ruling over that, Scorpio energy, I'm a Scorpio rising, y'all. That Scorpio energy can be secretive, can be hidden, can be, very deep emotions, things, keeping things to yourself. So again, your network, you could possibly keep your network to yourself. You don't want anybody to know where you got that information from. You don't want anybody to know how you got that job. You don't want anybody to know your resources. I think is it Little Wayne? There's a song that he says like, I'd rather, dang it, I'm gonna misquote it, but pretty much saying something along the lines of, I'd rather show them this than my network. So maybe he's a Capricorn rising, I don't know. But that is seen through, again, having that Scorpio energy, that secret private energy over your 11th house of networks, goals, aspirations, things like that, and your friends. And then as far as your 12th house, of course, your 12th house is ruled by Sagittarius, and to the 12th house is the house of Pisces, which again is spirituality. It's the house of separation, meaning like, monks who separate from the world and go live over there. It's also hospitals, jails. It's also things like charity, donations, energy exhaustion that can be seen through there. Like, do you have a lot of energy, or are you somebody who's constantly depleted of energy? You can't go for a long time. So having that Sagittarius energy over that 12th house, whenever it comes to, let's say, donations, charity, you could be somebody who does give a lot, or believe that if I give, then I will get back. Because again, that's two Jupiterian energies connecting together, and you feel like if I give, I'm going to get. So that is kind of seen through there too. I don't know too many Capricorn risings to kind of like, see how it's played out in their life, but I do know, like I said, an astrologer that I follow is a Capricorn rising, so I can kind of see a little bit of things through here. But overall, y'all, this is general energy of this rising sign. If you like a more in-depth analysis of your birth chart, because again, I can go very specific. And this is something, and I should say this in all my videos, and I'll probably make a separate video about this, but the reason why I do astrology the way that I do is because I feel like it's being presented in a very, like, I don't even know, like a cutesy way. And these birth charts and these signs that you have really help you explain like specific things that can happen to you and only you. And so this general like, oh, you're a Libra and you're just so charming and whatever, like I just can't do that. I live in reality, and learning myself down to my core has really helped me understand every single thing. So that's why I try to get as specific as I can. Obviously, I'm not looking at birth charts to help you understand, why your life may be going the way that it is, positively or negatively, but because I'm also studying Vedic astrology, that gets very specific. And so I kind of intertwine both. I'm not going to sit here and say, this is for tropical and this is for sidereal. It's just all going to resonate. I know how to put it all together, y'all. I promise. But anyways, going on a tangent. If you'd like a more in-depth analysis of your birth chart, go ahead and visit me on any social media platform. Go to my website. Go ahead and book. Let's talk, y'all, because I'm trying to help the world through the eyes of astrology, through the stars, y'all. But thank y'all so much for listening and making it all the way to the end. I appreciate y'all for leaving a comment or at least thumbs upping this so I can get these videos pushed out to everyone. Thank y'all, and I will see you on the next video, which will be Aquarius rising.